Last night, I had a terrible dream. I saw Carthage in ruins. Our temples defiled, dead treasures scattered over the sands. And the terrible cries of our women moved the gods to tears. My son, sit with me a while, that I might tell you of our city. For soon her safety will be entrusted to you. Do not let this old man's dream come to pass.
Father, I will promise you this. Your dream shall not come to pass. The path is clear. The way of the old is gone. The path of the sword is the way. The east has brought us only peril. I will go west to Spain and change our destiny. Finally, we have come to the start of a new destiny. I don't hate these Etatani tribes, but they stand in our way of our vision to make Carthage last, not to let it fall into flame and ruin. If our leadership will not change the way, we make our way. No more haggling for gold and personal gain, no thought at all for gadget they have. The Magnonids, the Hanonids, and the Senate, let them speak. We're here now. Let us make a statement to the world. Carthage will rise to greatness. Soldiers, be brave and fight for Carthage!
Well, here we are then. Well, we're basically here now in the battle. I've just lined up. We have like a nice line of hoplites. We actually have some sacred band that I was really surprised about. I was already able to recruit, so I jumped on the opportunity. And they actually do look not too bad. They have some better stats than our main hoplite line, but they still do they still have some nice lines. So right now we're of course facing our opponents, who are actually the defenders, I think, in this one. Although I'm no longer too certain. No, I think they actually attacked us, so we are actually the ones defending in this battle. Yeah, they attacked us, of course. So right now we're just waiting around. We have basically a nice position. We're outnumbered, of course, but I think we have the better infantry, have the better line that can hold against possible attacks of these forces. So we should be, at the moment we should be fine. Of course, these are our professional soldiers, sort of. We're sort of going in that direction. This was Hannnibal wanting to create in this new part of his Carthage, so to speak, the new Carthage that is being created. At least this part will be trying to be creating that. Of course, we'll have to see what what will happen in the West in the future development, if Rome will invade us, or if the African people will invading us. Although at the moment our relations with those peoples are more than good, so we have no problem with that at the moment. So our western borders are mostly fine, and the Carthaginian Senate, as well as the Mago and the Hannonian dynasties, at the moment still fine, and they're still more focusing on trade. So they actually would prefer trade over conflict nations. But we actually also have simulated, and will be also will be spoken about in the Senate with a big cash grab in the next episode. Just a little spoiler for that. But anyway. So yeah, they are basically wanting to be going to war. So the Senate actually wanted to accept the trade treaty from some other powers, where other factions actually would love to go to war with them. I actually sent out my my Gallic infantry in front, so they could actually take the hits from the spear line. So right now we're charging in to get most of those spears hitting them, but not our helpful days. So that's mostly fodder. I also used a different block mod in this one, so it was a bit over the top, I think. So sorry for that. It's like that is the Overhaul Mod block mod I'm using in this one, so that is certainly been using. So right now we're certainly going to have an expected attack right here. So this side of this attack is being used very well. So this there we're going to break, but then we of course have our that. And we have our own skirmisher battle excavator cavalry, which is actually going pretty well, I think. We have done minimal damage. I'm now actually going to chase them, so we actually have the advantage in that, and that we can attack them, because we actually got some really good attack. These the Libyan cavalry have some real nice attack stats, like 11. I think that's maybe one of the higher ones in the entire army. Maybe the mercenary at Dani Havoc have had like a bit higher, but they actually have one of the higher attacks in the game. And these ones also have some higher attacks and swords. But of course here we got our sacred band fighting, of course, overall not bad, holding up the big block of swords and fighting in a great fight. And I think it's certainly looking overall to that. So yeah, right now we're just trying to hold this flank over and hoping to hold off the enemy advances. Well, on the back lines we are seeing that the cavalry engagement is going well. We have almost routed the first attack, although this one is starting to get a little bit hammered by other missile fire. And I think we also were attacked over here by his mercenary Italian cavalry, who are now actually charging against ours. And I noticed this too late, so I couldn't really use my javelins, so that's been unfortunate. So they're getting a nice bank charge, but actually killed a lot of them, surprisingly enough. Normally it is less, but they're now being attacked, and I'm sending out my mercenary cavalry to support. Yes, to support this attack, because these ones are going to lose, unfortunately. But at the moment, our sacred band is holding up the line more perfectly enough. They're actually doing pretty good. They have lost some land, and I think it is a lot of it is probably being missile fire. Over here, though, we're actually trying to close up this line so we can try and surround them, and our heavy shock cav is going to go around and also going for the attack and maybe going to surround them at some point. But at the moment our line is holding fine, and I like it. Of course, our nitty-gritty fighting against the Etatani tribe who invaded us, and of course, or actually we invaded them, so don't have to turn around. They actually wanted to trade with us, and we actually used like sort of a pact with these Etatanians kind of spoke of before, to sort of make this war possible, to sort of bypass the Senate in a way, not able to like to sort of like making the morals a big standpoint of wanting to help sort of an ally, trying to gain more trade partners, but it's actually the quality of the Senate. So he's still trying to play ball at the moment with the Senate, sort of, but not totally, so to speak. He wants to, at the moment he's still trying to play with the rules, so sort of he did now with help trying to gain a potential trade partner, what he actually did with the war. So that's sort of with this, so he sort of has that in his pocket now. So he sort of is going to war with that in mind. And we're also seeing this. Unfortunately, our other general is being attacked. I think actually it's not our other general. I think he had an other general. I'm pretty sure it was the reinforcement general. What was the name as well? I'm not too sure. No, anyway, at the moment our line is still holding, so overall not too bad, and we have our cavalry engaged. Unfortunately, our missile cavalry being routed by the more heavy ones over time, although they did the damage and pushed off a lot of other troops, and our generals also now starting to go in and getting some kills on the missile troops. And over here we are actually seeing that this almost could have gone for the missile troops. But our missiles have such a nice line of fire right now, and we're slowly closing on them, and we're still trying to hold the line. Although one of our hoplites is certainly getting a lot of beating down to them, but it's understandable. They've been in the front line for a while. Although you can see it's certainly different now between the same and we've lost like far less, but also it's taking more damage. They've like taken the main brunt of the fight, you can notice. So they're trying to hold against the entire block. And we have now basically a surroundment and a cavalry charge here too. So overall we're doing not too badly. We're sort of holding, it certainly is a bloody battle. And the hoplites at the moment are holding. Certainly it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. And of course we still have these fights over here, all the play on the back line that are trying to, being really disorganized. But overall we're not doing too badly. We're holding the line as it is. And overall we are doing fine. Carthage is going well, we have been surrounding them slowly, and of course over here, this guy is still firing well. And overall, over here we've got some separate fights against going on, so overall it's not too bad. And we have also mostly killed off all their other cavalry, from what I can tell. At least most of them have been killed off now. And we still have some background fights, but are being knocked up by the general and killing also some units off. Of course, you have to go and fight them again, probably in the future to take the capital. So the more we can kill for that, the better. Well, with the continued fighting, we actually have our first real routes starting to occur. We have actually some breaking as well, and the front line. We still have actually some cavalry left who are actually still being annoying, but they are being killed off. Over here our general is fighting with theirs, and they are sort of winning. These fights are really even because they basically have sort of the same stats. These ones are a little bit better, but they just sort of are in a really bad position. They did not really charge well. They were really like in a straight line, so that one isn't even. These are basically the same units, so it's basically a deathmatch. It really depends on who can get some reinforcements over there. And overall, we're just still having the surroundment, although we are certainly starting to see a little bit of the lines. Even these sacred bands, yeah, they're being attacked on the flank because of breakthroughs over here, and the line is certainly starting to seem really thin over here, but they are certainly still holding on and fighting a lot, so they're now getting some extra kills because of some routes. But you can see the line is being broken up, so that's certainly, and here we got some lines on the back, so we certainly have a breakthrough over here that certainly is starting to hurt both of these units, as you can see in their casualties count as well. But overall, it is certainly starting to become a bloody bloodbath. As you can see, a lot of bodies behind the front line by the enemy, of course ours as well. But overall, we're certainly winning the battle at the moment. So we have that in our back. And big surround. Well, we actually have now a really big break, and also one of our own units is also breaking. So we basically have like a real big opening, although most of their units are totally breaking, so we have that in advantage. But one of ours also broke, and you can't really blame them. And they've been in the fight since the beginning, and they have been battered. They've lost so many of their units, and they did a good job. They still killed like 170 men. So I would say that isn't too bad. Although we can actually say that some of our units really did well. This one did actually, the sacred band on this flank did really well, or 300 kills. For an outlaw unit, that's good, and over on the back flank as well. So most of them were doing real well. Over right now we're certainly developing them. The other fights have been finally broken off, so we're trying to kill them off. And now it's just a last dogfight with the general and killing off the last of the units that are routing and killing off hopefully as many of them as we can as possible, because we have to still try and contain of course the area. We have to contain our conquest for our allies so we can help them out, sort of. And now we're seeing that they are trying to push on. They're like the general. This general did also well, like 120 kills. Some of them actually did kind of well, some units. 180, 60 kills. Like this unit as well, one of those units had like 24 attack. Jesus Christ. Like this one has 24 melee defense. That's actually real high. That's actually higher than our sacred band. So, overall now, we have now the route has been completed, and we shall see the last of the blood being flowing. And this will be seen as the forward push. Right, from here we'll be marching onwards towards the capital. Let's go. Let's attack the capital. Oh, we're here at the end of the battle. Actually, we did kind of well. We lost not too many. Units, I think, I can't really see it from here, but these are kind of a good numbers. We did well overall, I would say. Normally we would have lost far more, but yeah, we did actually really well. I had hoped that some of my hoplites did a little bit better, but it just got really outflanked, so can't really blame. Our sacred band did good again, and overall we have done a good job. We should be able to take them out easily enough, and of course we also released them, so Hannibal has like this, he wants the people of Iberia to sort of respect the Carthage and make them happy, like for releasing their captives, which gives us of course a little bit more relationship with those people. That's basically his whole stick. And also one thing we also have going on is that we are calling, at least on the west side, that's being controlled by the Basset family, the company, the CP, or the companies. They're basically company regiment, but the armies are being called. Company 1 is the Hannibal Spears, the second one, Hannibal's band actually, sorry, and the second one is called Mago's Spears, but we'll see them in the next episode. And here I actually have to go and fight it because the outer zone is just not enough in our favor to finally take this territory of the Edatani and fight the final battle, what we're now going to do, and I see you in the battle. The city of the Edatani is up our grabs today. Alright, we're here. The previous battle, of course, we see just a second ago, but this one is going to be a mop-up operation because the outer assault was really unkind that we just saw. My god, like, it was like, I think the highest on like 65, or no, 56 percent will be remaining. Yeah, I was not really like into that. So, although after this battle, it certainly will be for us a time to wait out and replenish, because of course we don't have any Carthaginian troops yet in the area. We have to get our colonists. These are the brave men and the brave men who have joined Hannibal in his expedition. So at the moment, right now, there aren't too many people who have yet, of course, going to colonize the new world for the Carthaginian people, and it will be Carthaginized, so to speak. And that will take time, but that is the entire goal. We want to become a military power. You just don't have that doesn't happen in a day. So this will really be our force that is able to draw from Carthage's manpower. Not a lot, of course, because that's most of the point of the story. It will take a gradual period before Carthage will be becoming a real military power in operations. We're of course making it like that yet. We're trying to train up our hoplites in that professional army, but it will take time. And that's sort of the point from Spain. It will really become the military base of the Bastard clan. At least that's my narrative idea I want to go for. And we have to also go and see what, of course, will happen with the other politician, because they won't sit idly by as the Bastard clan will make a power base, of course, in the other side of the world. So we're going to see what they will do. Right now, they can't really do much at the moment. They don't have that much proper chance to try and kill off Hannibal and his plans. Because at the moment he still has the legal provocation for war for trade agreement with the other Senatani tribe. So at the moment that is the reason why this is still an ongoing war. But of course we're sending on our skirmishes flanking, and we're just trying to do that. I'm not trying to push off. It shouldn't be too much of a mop-up. It's just a really easy mop-up situation over here. And we got our hoplites just easily taking it, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, and the first skirmish engagement is starting. So, I always love how this always looks. It just gives you such a nice cool vibe. I love the mod so much. The march of the Carthaginians and the mob from the tower being shattered. Although these ones are the more heavily armored ones. So right now we're going to see some of our first casualties coming up. But I now have given the main command attack order, so we will see some form of formation going. Actually, we can see the ship, right? Oh no! And here we go. We have our mob charging in. Ah, that's so sad. Just think about that. Like, if you really think about it, yeah, okay, that's just the movement still going on. What you can see there. Ah well. We have our encroachment going on. The line is not totally nicely organized, but that's overall not too bad. This is mostly mob rabble, so I'm not the most worried about it. And we have our skirmish cavalry doing some nice throw-ins. And our own Iberian allies helping us fight as well on the flank. And we got our sacred bands against the more heavily armored Iberians. Which should be fun. And we have our own now men pushing up, trying to win the fight. Oh, that's... Yep, there we go. Their cavalry has been killed off by our nice slingers. And we are seeing a charge, but that should be fine. Still a bit weird that they can just do that, but overall they are using swords instead of spears, so... And of course they're pushing up now as well. Overall not too bad. And we're seeing our overall line now folding in again. After the easy one. This is just going to be an easy mob opera situation. Just to prevent some casualties. So overall now, we have done it. Carthage is winning the victor. And the war with the Etetani is at its end. Well, we're now seeing like the last, and our missile units really peppering this unit and being shot by cavalry, so they should break soon. We don't really have like the general remaining who's still holding its own, although not really getting any kills so far, so I would not say that's that good. The one thing I would love they would improve, they actually sort of have like a thing, I don't think it always works perfectly fine, that you can use, like that is reform line, but actually makes them reform the line and push a little bit forward so they go back into combat. So that's actually certainly a good thing to implement, although I would love still to see that the hoplites push a bit more forward in combat to try and engage more. When they can, of course, but not always, because sometimes it will just break the line. So it's certainly a work in progress, but it's certainly better than in base game. And here we go. And that is mostly their army gone and now just mopping up the general. And that will be the end so far for episode 1 of the narrative campaign Let's Play Chains of Destiny for Carthage. I hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one, and the Lost Heroes of the Greeks. One last talk by Hannibal. Let's go. Thank you for watching.
Men, well done. We have set the first step in reforging Carthage. We will change our fate. For all that have fallen here today, let us all be proud. They fought and died for their country. The fight is not yet done. It is only the beginning. For Carthage! The first battle of the New Age is over. New battle lines are drawn across the field. The bastard clan has made his claims in Spain. The Hannonids and the Macedonians have their own plans in Africa and Sicily. What will the new tides bring? Will the fate of Carthage change, or will it be sealed?